I believe there's something in you that can be provided to the world, whether that be an art capacity like I am. This is kind of an art form, I believe,
Mhm.
or paper and pen art, like the regular art, but there's something that you can give. That's my belief. There's something you can do to make a difference.
In this episode, we'll be learning about living with autism from a motivational speaker, entrepreneur, writer, host of Autism Rock and Roll podcast. Welcome to the show, Sam. How are you doing?
I'm all right, man. It's good to be here, and thanks for the invite.
Thank you so much for joining me on this episode for a soulful conversation. I would love to just say thank you so much for the awesome work that you do, the nonprofit activities that you do, and your podcast that is surrounding taking away the stigma of autism and helping people to live a much better life, even with autistic people around them and also with autism itself. So, would you like to start out by sharing your own story of living with autism?
Yeah, so hello everyone. My name's Sam Mitchell, and I run the podcast Autism Rocks and Rolls. It's about autism and how we cope with daily struggles that you may or may not understand. I ran it since October 2019. I've had big guests on the show, such as Dr. Temple Grandin and professional wrestler Mick Foley.
Mm,
But I also was diagnosed with autism at age 4, and I have been bullied and dealt with exclusion and the stereotyping because of the high functioning aspect. They thought instead of having sympathy, they'd rather push me off the bridge for being different and not even have the time, not even take the time for me because they thought nothing of my life was interesting.
mm. Well, I'm so sorry to hear that. That must have been like a very difficult time in your life, right? How were you able to like deal with that time period of your life, and how were you able to overcome all those stigma and trauma that surrounded it?
Well, I didn't, to be honest with you. The best way I handled it was just to go to that one friend I did have and do my best to be around him more and just keep my nose down and clean. So just stay away from the drama and found some way to I knew I'd make it in life. And not caring what others thought of you also helped out coping with others excluding me and not taking the time for me.
Mm. We only that one friend, right? That one friend that we can hold on to and be with in times of difficulty. That must have been very helpful for you to have that one special friend in your life that you could always hold on to and you know be with when everyone is like chasing you away or treating you badly. That's good. So for a layman out there, for someone who has never heard about autism before, can you explain what autism means and what it is like to live with autism?
Well, autism has two definitions I see. Society's definition is a neurodevelopmental conditional disorder where we struggle with social cues and just are a little behind in
Mm.
life itself. My definition is it's a different way of thinking.
Autism is a different way of thinking, a special way, just a unique way of thinking. Yes. And that's awesome. And would you like to like share some of the obstacles and the daily struggles that you experience due to autism and how do you deal with them? Like right now in your teenage, how do you do that? Your teenage
Well,
age?
one obstacle I deal with is social anxiety. I have really bad anxiety myself, so I don't know how to handle it. But the best way I do is with music, a lot of rock and roll music, and lots of music therapy
Mm,
on my own. I don't really have a therapist, but I do a lot of music therapy, like self music therapy.
mm,
And I also am a very black and white thinker. I don't do plan Bs. I am either this way or this way. We
mhm,
either do it or we don't. That's kind of the easiest way for me to let something go.
mm,
I also have very sensitive feelings. I don't like like wet t-shirts. That's intolerable
mm,
and can't do that. Every time the t-shirt gets wet, I'd rather just take it off, no matter where I am.
mm,
So that's one for you. And then sometimes I'll come up with unharming but unrealistic but non-harmful situations
mm,
or solutions. Excuse me.
mm. Yeah, yeah. And I hope you're not feeling anxious right now in this conversation. Hope you're feeling relaxed and not too anxious.
As relaxed. Oh, that's general, but as relaxed as I can be.
As fast
So
as you can be. Okay. And how do you like, deal with anxiety whenever it comes? You just pick up your music and listen to it, or you go to a secluded area just to calm down, or what do you do when it becomes so much?
Well, what I'm doing, the butterflies go away. Really. So case in point, when I speak before I go on stage, I am nervous as hell. I will
Mm.
not lie to you. Like it is yikes. Like it before on stage, there's sweat going down on me. But after I go out behind the curtain or whatever, then it all goes away.
Wow, that's good because you're a motivational speaker and you stand in front of a lot of people to speak. You're an entrepreneur, you organize a lot of activities, and it's so fascinating, or it's so wonderful how you are able to deal with this anxiety, you're able to cap it down and still function properly, like every other person, basically, like in your own special and unique way. That's awesome. So for someone out there who is autistic or who is living with autism, how would you encourage that person right now to live his or her life purpose without the doubt of, oh, because of this special condition of mine, I don't think I can do this or achieve this goal in life.
Well, I would say go for it. No matter what it is, I say go for it. And by the way, you said you're European. I can definitely tell you're European because we say chase, not chess. But hey, whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I live in Germany, so I guess that influences my English a lot. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's awesome. Just go for it without fear. Just just pursue your life goals and purpose, and you make it basically. Yeah, like you are a testimony. You are an example of someone who, despite the autism, you are still able to, be an entrepreneur, be a motivational speaker, and still be able to function, have a blog, be a writer, do everything all that you want to do. That's amazing. That's good.
Thank you.
Yes. And I was going through your work, your website, and I read that you embrace yourself and you love yourself for who you are. So can you like share some tips on how we can embrace ourselves and love ourselves no matter what?
Yeah, I would say that we need to embrace ourselves because I think it's a priority to self-confidence and self-esteem to have a self identity as well, because
Mm,
it's who you are. And I believe there's something in you that can be provided to the world, whether that be an art capacity like I am. This is kind of an art form, I believe,
mm,
or paper and pen art, like the regular art, but there's something that you can give. That's my belief. There's something you can do to make a difference, whether that be loving yourself or just trying to be yourself in a world where there's lots of cruelness going on.
mm. Yes, that's true. Try to be yourself. That's the message. Try to be who you are. And talking about being artistic, being, uh, being creative. Can you tell us more about your podcast and about your nonprofit corporation? And how do you make use of all of these platforms to take away the stigma of autism?
Well, I do it by just preaching and preaching and preaching. Really, if you think about it, is I think that I just have to preach what I believe in and until we get to the autism acceptance phase, because we're aware of autism, but we're not accepting of it, I don't think
Mm,
sometimes. And I think those with the condition get pitied, and that's not what we want. We don't want to be paid or held to a lower standard because of our disability. We want to be held to a higher or the same expectations because of the ability that we were given.
yes, yes. And that makes me remember what I read also from one of your work. Like you wrote, you are not broken, basically. You are you're as unique as the next person. Yes, that's good. Yeah. So, for parents or for family members or friends, how would you advise them to relate to or to understand their autistic loved ones?
Well, I mean, that's a hard question to do because I don't think I'm understood all the time with
Mm,
my family. I mean, I'm loved and I greatly appreciate it, but I don't think I'm understood by them all the time. And I would just say to understand them the best and try to get to know them as much as you can. I would say for the most part, my families do know me. It's in the A plus, not in the A plus range, but like the A minus range.
mm,
So there's definitely get to that. grade, I guess you call it, but they don't know me as an A plus. They, I think, don't know what I am capable of and how big of a person I am to be, how much of a go-getter I am, because I'm willing to do anything to get to my goal.
Mm. Oh, that's good. And how can we get from that A minus to A plus plus? Like, how can you like share some tips or some ways that we can understand you better, understand autistic people better?
Well, I believe the best way to understand them is to try to ask them questions, trying to get to know them base by base. What is their favorite food? What is their favorite video game? What is their favorite thing to do outside of the necessities of life, like school and anything you want them to do?
Mm. Oh, that's good. Yeah. So try to ask questions and get to know them better, basically. Yeah, know what they like and what they dislike. Yeah. Yeah. And I just love you to educate me a little bit on autism. Like, what are some signs of autism that one is to look out for? Like, if I'm out there in the society, what are some signs that I should take I should pay attention to know that, oh yeah, that's an autistic fellow out there, or this is someone with autism, and how am I supposed to, deal with these signs also?
Well, eye contact's the big one. Probably they're not doing a lot of eye contact. It's a lot of That's probably the big one. And I'll
Mm,
give you a basics example. There are times in my pictures where I do not look at the camera, and I still do not look at the camera. If I do, it's rare. If you go to
mm,
Facebook, you'll see a lot of pictures of me not looking in the camera because there's so much distracting. You expect us to look at the camera with a smile, but yet you hear birds chirping, yet you hear a chainsaw
mm,
um, trying to chop down a tree. You hear certain noises and it's distracting. So we can't stare at the camera while there's a lot of noises going on. Because I have to be like, oh, there's a bird. Oh wait, there's the tree falling down. Oh wait, there's a tractor going. Too much noises around.
mm,
So I get that. And the fact that we have to look at the camera, I think is kind of dumb because it's a picture. For crying
mm.
out loud, when they say, son, look at the camera. Okay, no, we don't have to. It's only in the picture.
Yeah.
So
So,
kind of a personal belief, but also in all seriousness, there's just too much going on. And I
mm,
think that if we're not looking at the camera much, it's definitely a sign to be aware of. Maybe not immediately,
mm,
oh, they didn't look at the camera once, because it's hard to tell because kids are kids at the same time.
mhm.
But it's definitely something to look out for.
Yeah. Would you say like autistic people like they have this a special level of sensitivity, like they are much more aware of everything that's happening in the surrounding, and they pay attention to everything that's happening around them.
Yeah, I would say with sensitivity because of the wet clothes, I think I mentioned earlier. But I would also say it's not really with the looking around everywhere. I wouldn't say it's more of sensitivity. I would say it's more of an alertness
Mm,
as well because we're just so alert in the world. We're paying attention, not just what's going on in front of us and behind us, but we're looking at every ring corner.
mm. Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's okay. That's amazing. That's interesting to know, actually. Yeah. So, you talked earlier about, bullying, you expressing bullying and people treating you differently. What can we do to make our society and the world at large much more accepting of people that live with autism?
Don't see them for the autism, but see for them who they are. I mean, I've chosen to put autism first, but I know some people who don't want to be known as the Down syndrome boxer
Mm,
or the Down syndrome fighter. They want to be known as the fighter. And the fact that we're labeled, well, it's sometimes a benefit, I won't lie, but it's sometimes a pain in the butt because I am labeled as an autistic podcaster. Why not just a podcaster like anyone else? So
mm.
I would definitely say be careful with our labels.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, what's the need of the label, right? Like you're a podcaster, simple on auto, right?
Yep, I'm a podcaster just like you are, my brother.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. Yeah, I love that actually. Yes. And what are some misconceptions? Sorry, what are some misconceptions around autism that you love to, clear off? Some misunderstanding around it, some misbelief around it.
That we can't do anything, that we're bedridden, and that is far from the truth. Even the low function ones have something to offer. I
Mm,
know, I'll give you, and I have a friend who shall remain nameless. He lives with his mother still, I think. I think he does, but he works, and I'm not kidding you, he is a fantastic bowler.
Mm.
Like I think he got one time all strikes on a game.
Wow. Oh, that's good. That means no matter.
Or hold on, no, I'm sorry, scratch that. Every time I've seen him bowl or on the board of the
Mhm,
bowling, he's
mhm.
at least gotten over 100 points.
Wow. That's good. So, I mean, you're telling everyone out there with autistic that no matter what level of autistic they are experiencing right now, or sorry, no matter what level of autism they're experiencing right now, they can still go and achieve their dreams in life and become who they want to be in life. Yeah.
Correct.
Yes, yes. So, as a closing remark, like, what advice will you share with people out there, autistic and non-autistic, in order to make this world a better place and a much more accommodating place for us all?
Well, I just think two is kind of simple but blunt. So I would think if the rule could be nice and not be stupid, don't you think we get along great and a lot more better if we
Mm.
could just follow those two simple rules?
Yeah, that's true. You're right. Of course.
So
Yeah.
that's my final advice for you. Be nice and don't be stupid. That's really what it is.
Yeah, very simple, and yeah, it could be difficult to implement in everyday life, but it's very straightforward, like you said. Yeah. So I'm sure there are people out there who still love to ask you more questions or like to connect with you, maybe listen to Autism Rocks and Rolls podcast also, or be a part of your nonprofit corporation. What's the best way to connect with you and to work with you?
Yeah, you can email me at info@autismrocksandrolls.com. Myself or my mother/partner will respond. One of the others will. And I also, you want to see what I'm about, check the website. That's what has everything, and you'll see where you can follow me, and it's on your favorite media platforms. You think I'm there, I'm probably there.
Mm. That's awesome. That's great. So I'm going to place the link to your website in the show note of this episode. I encourage everyone who wants to be much more enlightened about autism or ask more questions in this regard to get across to Sam or get across to Gina, your mom. I believe your mom is Gina. Yes, and they will reach out to you as soon as possible and explain further questions and further answers to you or show you more insight or more tips. Thank you so much, Sam, for this wonderful conversation. I really appreciate you being here to, enlighten us and to share more about autism. Thank you.
Hey there, podcast enthusiasts. Are you ready to add a little sparkle to your day? If you're loving the insightful conversations and captivating stories on Mirror Talk Podcast, here's a friendly nudge to hit that subscribe button. By subscribing, you'll never miss out on the empowering messages and thought-provoking discussions we bring to your ears. But wait, there's more. We're all about spreading positivity and inspiration, and you can be a part of it too. How? By sharing the love with your friends and family. Share this episode with your loved ones, and let's create a ripple effect of empowerment and growth together. And hey, if you've been enjoying what you hear, why not take a moment to leave us a glowing 5-star review? Your feedback fuels our passion to keep delivering content that resonates with you. So hit that subscribe button, share the love, and leave us a review. Let's keep the conversation going and spread the Mirror Talk magic far and wide. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, your support means the world to us.